chapter number 13, page number 241, last paragraph. The HSRA leadership also decided to let the people know about their changed political objectives and the need for a revolution by the masses. Consequently, Bhagat Singh and B.K. Dutt threw a bomb in the Central Legislative Assembly on April 8, 1929. The bomb did not harm anyone, for it had been deliberately made harmless. The aim was not to kill, but as the leaflet put it, to make the deaf hear. Bhagat Singh and B.K. Dutt could have easily escaped after throwing the bomb, but they deliberately chose to be arrested, for they wanted to make the use of the court as a forum for revolutionary propaganda. In Bengal, two revolutionary activists were revived. In April 1930, a well-planned and large-scale armed raid was organized on the government armory at Chittagong under the leadership of Surya Sen. This was the first of many attacks on unpopular government officials. A remarkable aspect of terrorist movement in Bengal was the participation of young women. The Chittagong revolutionists marked a major advance. Theirs was not an individual action but a group action aimed at the organs of the colonial state. The government struck hard at the revolutionaries. Many of them were arrested and tried in a series of famous cases. Bhagat Singh and a few others were also tried for assassination of Saunders. The statements of young revolutionaries in the courts and their fearless and defiant attitude won the sympathy of the people. Their defense was organized by Congress leaders who were otherwise votaries of non-violence. Particularly inspiring was the hunger strike they undertook as a protest against the horrible conditions in the prisons. As political prisoners, they demanded an honorable and decent treatment in jail. During the course of this hunger strike, Jatin Das, a frail young man, achieved martyrdom after 63-day long epic fast. Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru were executed on 23rd March 1931, despite popular protest. In a letter to the jail superintendent written a few days before their execution, the three affirmed, "Very soon the final battle will begin. Its outcome will be decisive. We took part in the struggle and we are proud of having done so." The two in his last letters, the 23-year-old Bhagat Singh also affirmed his faith in socialism. He wrote, "The peasants have to liberate themselves not only from foreign yoke but also from the yoke of landlords and capitalists." In the last message of 3rd March 1931, he declared that the struggle in India would continue so long as a handful of exploiters go on exploiting the labor of the common people for their own ends. It matters little whether these exploiters were purely British capitalists or British and Indians in alliance, or even purely Indian. Bhagat Singh defined socialism in a scientific manner. It meant the abolition of capitalism and class domination. He also made it clear that much before 1930, he and his comrades had abandoned terrorism. In his last political testament written on 2nd February 1931, he declared, "Apparently, I have acted like a terrorist, but I am not a terrorist. Let me announce with all my strength at my command that I am not a terrorist and I never was, except perhaps in the beginning of my revolutionary career. And I am convinced that we cannot gain anything through those methods." Bhagat Singh was fully consciously secular. He often told his comrades that communalism was as big an enemy as colonialism and was to be as firmly opposed. In 1926, he had helped to establish Punjab Naujawan Bharat Sabha and had become its first secretary. Two of the rules of the Sabha drafted by Bhagat Singh were to have nothing to do with communal bodies or to communal or other parties which disseminate communal ideas, and to create the spirit of general toleration among the people, considering religion as a matter of personal belief of man and to act upon the same fully. Thank you everyone for tuning in. In the next part, we're going to finish this paragraph and we will understand more on this topic. Thank you. Do share and subscribe the channel, and all the best for your exams. Thank you everyone.